Morning everybody. Well, I'm just doing a spot of early morning weeding. I spend a lot of time in the garden. It's a big garden, very time consuming and a lot of hard work, but I do love it, as you can probably tell. Now, I'm also sat here wondering where to go today, because as we know the grass is growing at an alarming rate. So wherever I end up today, I'm either going to be with the horses or the cows. Now the horses aren't much of a problem, but the cows are, because they do not like anybody else in their field. The farmer did warn me about them, but I've always got on very well with livestock, but not these. They are having none of it, and you've got to be extremely careful when they're around. So we'll just have to wait and see where we end up today. Maybe it's the horses, maybe it's the cows, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to do a bit more weeding, I'm going to do some watering, pick over a few plants, get the dead heads off, and I'll catch you all on the first signal when I get to wherever I'm going, my friends. Catch you all later. Well, as you can see, I opted for the field with the horses. And I'm just trying to dig this hole down here, and my friend here is helping me. Anyway, when I've found what's in the hole, I'll get back to you. Okie dokie, don't get too giddy. Well, after the horse had gone, and after a lot of digging, the hole is probably about 10 inches deep, and the soil is still as dry as a bone, and it's like concrete. It took me ages to get right down there, but I've been rewarded with this. Looks like a little sixpence. You can see the imprint just there. I don't think it's very old. Without my glasses on, I think it's George VI. But I'm not complaining, because it's a very nice first find. Maybe the horse brought me some good luck, I don't know. Right, we'll pop that into the boxy thing and we'll crack on. Right then, I think we've managed to wheedle out a very dry, crusty coin down here. It's maybe about 9 inches deep. It might not actually be a coin as such. It could be a token or something like that. It's very, very wafer thin. Can't see anything on it at the moment. No surprise there then. But yeah, it was a cracking signal. Came up at about 75. But as I say, it's as thin as a wafer. But I'll let you have a look anyway. And there it is, my friends. A very, very thin, dry, crusty, whatever it is. Right, we'll pop it into the boxy thing and we'll crack on. And I'm keeping a very close eye on that gentleman that's behind me over there. Right then, you good people, we've got another target down here. Came up at about 75, 76 on the Anfibio. It's about 6 inches deep, and I think we've got another crusty dry coin. Just there, my friends. Might be a halfpenny, some description, don't know who, but I'm not complaining. It's another nice little find. I will admit that the targets on here are few and far between, because I've detected this particular piece of pasture a lot. But there's still stuff popping up, so I'm not complaining. Anyway, let's have a look at that. There it is, my friends. A crusty, what I think is a halfpenny. Right, into the box and we'll plod on. Right then, my good friends. Got another target down here. It's only about 5 inches deep. It looks like a lead disc, but it's just a possibility that it might be some sort of token, a lead token, or a gaming piece, something like that. Anyway, I'll bring it a bit closer so you can have a better look. Right, there it is, my friends. Now, as I say, at first I thought it was just a lead disc, but I can see a design on that, even without my glasses. I'm not that blind. But yeah, that's a cracking little find, that. I absolutely love my lead artefacts, as most of you already know. But there you go, a cracking little find. I suppose it could be medieval, post-medieval, don't really know. Very difficult to tell, unless it's got a date on it, which it hasn't. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. As I said, I just love interesting lead artifacts, and that's an absolute belter. Oops. Right, into the box with it, and we'll get a bit further. Right then, here we are again. I've just been making my way down the banking towards the stream at the bottom. Had a couple of scratchy signals down here, didn't bother with them. This one, cracking signal. Once again, not very deep, maybe 5 inches, something like that. And we've got ourselves a very tiny little buckle. I assume it's a shoe buckle, or was a shoe buckle. But I do love a good buckle. Fair enough, it's not the prettiest of things, and it's not the most ornate of buckles, but it's still a nice find. Look at that, it's only a tiny little thing. It's got a little bit more detail on the back of it, just there. But yeah, it's a lovely little find. I'll dig them up all day. I love them. Right, into the box and off we go. Right, I'm still at the bottom of the banking, going down towards the stream, and we've got another nice little find down here. Another lead artifact, only about 4, maybe 5 inches deep. I thought it was a bag seal at first, but when I uncovered it properly, it's much larger. So I suspect that it's a cloth seal as opposed to a normal bag seal, because cloth seals are usually much larger. I'm being a bit careful with it because it looks as though I've broken it a little bit just there. I don't think there's anything on the other side, but I can definitely see some writing on that side. So we'll clean that up later and hopefully get a full ID off it, and maybe do some research and find out who the manufacturer was and maybe where it came from. Right, that's a lovely little find. Into the box with it and best foot forward. Right then, we've got a target down here. It's probably about 6 inches deep, and it's just there, my friends. I haven't got it out yet, obviously, so I thought we'd have a look together. Watch it be a button or some other piece of rubbish. Well, whatever it is, that's it. Huh. What's that then? Well, it looks nice, whatever it is. I mean, it's probably a button, but if it is, it's a very nice button. Look at that. It's got like a swirly design on it. Well, I'm quite happy with that. I'll just give it a little, only very gently. I don't know whether it is a button actually. In fact, I haven't got a clue what it is. It's quite heavy. Anyway, it could be some sort of leather mount, I suppose. And it looks as though it might have some serious age to it. Ah, I'm very happy with that. I'm happy with pretty much anything these days. Okay, we'll pop it in the box and we'll get a bit further. Right, here we are again. Now, here's a little tip for anybody new that's going into the hobby. It doesn't matter what kind of metal detector you're using, that doesn't matter. If you get a signal that's giving you scratchy numbers, maybe 50, 60, 70, then drops back down to 50, as long as the numbers are constant and it's a constant signal all the way around, it's worth a dig. And you'll often find that once you've taken that much out of the hole and you run your detector across it again, the signal improves greatly, as this one did. Because when I went over it at first, it were a bit scratchy, but the numbers were constant, jumping in between 50 and 60 all the way around. As soon as I took the top off, the numbers jumped up to 76, 77, and we've got a target down there, and I can see an edge. Now, at first I thought it were a pound coin, because it looks the right thickness for a pound coin, but it's the wrong colour for a pound coin. It looks like lead. Anyway, I'll bring you a bit closer so you can have a better look. Right, you can probably just see the edge of it just down there. And as I said, it looks about the same thickness as a pound coin. It's just the wrong colour. So, I'm assuming it's made out of lead. And there it is, whatever it is. It certainly feels like lead, and I'm hoping that once I've cleaned it up, there's going to be something decent on it. Right then, another wonderful lead artifact. Into the boxy thing with it, and I think it's time for a cup of tea, or maybe even a cup of soup. Right, catch you in a bit. Right, my good friends, got another target down here. It's about 9 inches deep. I'm trying to get it out as quick as I can before the horses descend upon me. Anyway, as I said, it's about 9 inches deep. It came up at 81, 82 on the Anfibio. It's just down there, my friends. And I think it's a little medieval gaming piece. I could be wrong, but that's what I think it is. So I'm just keeping my eye on them buggers. Yeah, I think it's a medieval gaming piece, which is not too surprising because this is all medieval land. But there you go. Right, now this will probably be my last signal because it's getting quite late now, and I want to get back in the garden. So anyway, little medieval gaming piece. I'll just show you that before I disappear. And there it is, my friends, a little medieval gaming piece. Right, I'll fill the hole in and get out of here while the going's good. And I'll see you all at home for the roundup, my friends, and thank you very much for joining me. Well, okay, I may have lied slightly. This is probably my last signal before I go home. I'm just on my way back to where I'm camped out over there, and I got a cracking signal down here. I saw this first, just a little bit of imprint and a bit of green on a little clump of soil. So I thought, Anyway, turns out we've got, well, once again, I don't think it's a coin as such. I think it's probably some sort of token. I don't think it's not a button, but once again it's wafer thin, absolutely wafer thin. So it may be some sort of farming token, something like that. Anyway, I'll let you have a quick look. There it is, my friends, a wafer thin coin or token. Right, I'll fill the hole in, and I'm almost certain that this will be my last signal unless I find something on the way back. Right, let's have a look at the finds. Now, one of the reasons that I keep going back to that particular piece of pasture is because it's very, very clean. There are no tin cans, bottle tops, ring pulls, foil, anything like that. The only thing you do get is the occasional thing that the farmers left behind, like this cap thing here. And I honestly can't say that there's much rubbish in it at all. The only unwanted stuff that I do dig up are pieces of lead like that, and the rest of the stuff isn't really rubbish, it's just stuff that I'm not really looking for. Another bit of scrap lead there, small escutcheon from a keyhole cover type thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little buttons, piece of bronze, a ring thing just there. I don't really know what that is. I've dug 1 or 2 of those up. I don't know whether there's some sort of earring or something out of the back of a pocket watch or something like that. I don't really know. The only other unwanted thing that I dug up was that there, which is part of a cosmetic tube, had some sort of lipstick pencil in it type thing. Now that there piece of lead, I thought it was going to turn out to be something interesting, because if you look at it, they were obviously trying to make something, because it's got like an oval shape in the middle of it with chamfered edges or tapered edges, so they were trying to make something, but what, I don't know. Dug the little buckle up, which is a lovely little find. I do like buckles. Probably a shoe buckle, might date back to the 1600s, not entirely sure. A bit more detail on the other side, the little fastenings where the pin would have gone across, where it fastened to the shoe. I did quite a few of these things up, and I still don't know what they are. Wafer thin, look like a coin, absolutely nothing on them whatsoever. This one's the same, completely blank, wafer thin. I can only assume that they were some sort of farming token or jetons, maybe, something like that. That coin that we dug up, for once there's something on it. It's a George III halfpenny. You can just about see him facing right there. And even more unusual, for my permissions, there's a date underneath it as well. I don't know whether you can see it underneath his head, but the date is 1806. You can just about see Britannia on the other side, just there. So that's that coin. The first thing we dug up in the nightmare soil, like concrete and dry as a bone, was this George VI sixpence. It is 50% silver because the date on it is 1943, and during 1937 up to 1946 they were 50% silver. Anything after 1946 there was no silver content in them whatsoever. So as I said, that's 1943 George VI sixpence, 50% silver. So a nice little find. This is really interesting. I just thought it was going to be some sort of lead token or something when I first saw it, but when I cleaned it up and looked at it, there is clearly what's left of someone's bust facing right. I'll try and get it the right way around so you can see it. Yeah, there's definitely what's left of a bust facing right. You can just catch the silhouette of it just there. And I thought it was perfectly round, but it's not. It's got flat edges, like the old threepenny bit. Obviously it's very well worn, but yeah, a really interesting find. I haven't got a clue what it is. There's nothing on the other side. It could possibly be Queen Anne, I'm not sure. But as I say, I don't know what it is. I've never seen one before, but interesting all the same. The squirrely thing, the squirrely design thing that I found is a button. It's a very large button. I can feel what's left of a shank on the back. But yeah, another cracking little find. I mean, I don't mind digging buttons up as long as they're nice buttons, and that is an absolute belter. Beautiful thing. So that's that. This was the medieval token or gaming piece, not quite sure. Got some sort of cross-hatch design on it. probably medieval, possibly post-medieval, very difficult to date, but a lovely find all the same. And then we found this lovely thing. If you remember, part of it was broken on the edge, but I've managed to push it back in and not disturb it. It is a cloth seal, and the company, as you can probably read on the front, it's York and Sheep's Hanks Company Limited, and they were from Leeds. Now, they were on the go in between 1787 and 1863, and they were manufacturers of high quality cloth, and they were more importantly known for dyeing and finishing cloth. A very reputable company by all accounts, but it's a beautiful little find, that, and quite big as well. Don't find many of those. Absolutely love it. And probably, or strangely as it may seem to some of you, my favourite find is this, which is a medieval gaming piece. It's made out of lead. I think it's absolutely lovely. If I don't lose it. Obviously you would have used the little thing there to pick it up and move it across the board for whatever game you were playing. There are no other markings on it, but that's what it is. It's a medieval gaming piece. Absolutely cracking little find. As I said, it doesn't seem to matter how many times I detect that field. The finds just keep coming up. Okay, they are getting harder to find, the finds, but they keep popping up, and that's why I keep going back. And because there's not much rubbish in the field either. Right, those are the finds, my friends, so just give me a second to adjust the camera. Right then everybody, those were the finds. Oh, by the way, I'm just having a cup of coffee out of your mug, Martin, a Yorkshireman in Dorset. Thank you very much, my friend, putting it to good use. Yeah, those were the finds. As I said, I keep going back to that field. Some nice finds keep popping up, even though I've done it dozens and dozens of times. It's a big field, granted, but you've got to put the hours in. If you don't put the hours in, you won't find anything, and you've got to persevere. If it's a bit scratchy and you're not too sure, dig it up, because once you get that first 4 or 5 inches off the top, it might just turn out to be something very, very nice, as some of those finds did. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me again, my friends. I do appreciate it. Thank you to all my subscribers, new and old. That's also very much appreciated. And I'll see you all the next time round, my friends. Bye for now.